What's going on? I'm the SU men's soccer beat reporter Luke McGrath, joined alongside the senior captain goalie Hendrik Hilpert. Hendrik, first of all, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, senior year, this will be your third time in the NCAA Tournament and fourth time for Syracuse in the last 5 years. Just first off, right off the bat, what was your initial reaction to seeing Syracuse back in the tournament?
First of all, I think seeing Syracuse as being the number 16 seed is first of all a nice recognition of the season, of the work you've done so far. So we were pretty surprised that our name popped up that quickly. But on the other hand, we're thankful for this opportunity. It was a big goal of ours to play in the NCAA tournament. But on the other hand, we all know that our team is too good to be satisfied yet. So, it was a nice moment to enjoy for a couple of minutes. But now we're ready to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, you played such a tough schedule, 10 opponents that you played this year in the NCAA tournament, 9 ACC teams, including you guys, 8 of them getting first-round byes. How much do you think that played a factor? Because the record on paper isn't glamorous, but, you played such good talent throughout the year, gives you guys a good RPI, and it gave you a lot of learning experiences throughout the year as well.
Playing in the ACC is certainly tough. The ACC is the best league for college soccer, the best conference for college soccer in the United States. So it is true that we're facing national tournament teams every single week. And, on one hand, that prepares us for the national tournament, but on the other hand, you watched every single game that we played, and I think there was a clear development every single week. So, on one hand, we're prepared now, but on the other hand, I think looking back to the season, we really use this. We really use these kinds of competitions to get better and better and better every single day. And I think we're at a point right now where we can say we're ready to hopefully start a long journey in the national tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And we spoke, speaking throughout the season, you mentioned to me a couple times, these games, while regular season games certainly important, but it's all about getting hot come this time of year, November and into December possibly. So, what did you kind of do to keep the freshmen motivated? Losing a couple games early on, not being ranked, but just encouraging them that this is all part of the growing process and getting better.
I think at the beginning of the year, our senior class did a good job by telling the entire team, be it freshmen, be it sophomores, be it transfer students, that we should trust the process. And I think that's more than an empty phrase. I think that we really embraced this. We said, okay, every single day, every single practice, every single game is another opportunity to get better. And as seniors, we told that the entire team at the beginning of the season, and I have to say that everyone did an amazing job of embracing this, of really trying to get better at every single opportunity. And the selection show was a nice cut. We were able to look back and say, okay, we had a successful regular season, but since we took this to heart, since we tried to really get better every single time, we're now in a position where we are ready to go. I think the team is in an amazing shape, physically, mentally. We're all ready to go. I think there is no additional motivation necessary. It's the national tournament. We're extremely excited, and I think if we could kick off right now, everyone would be here within a second to be ready to play. Yeah,
absolutely. You mentioned being ready to play, ready to go, but you guys haven't played since Halloween, the Virginia Tech game in the first round of the ACC tournament, so it'll be an 18-day layover. So just from a practice standpoint, how do you guys keep yourself in good form and make sure you're ready to go both physically and emotionally for this game? It's going to be a high-emotion game.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, 18 days you said? That's a long period of time of not playing, and we all missed playing games. So, on one hand, we had to use this time to really work on ourselves, to really, get better as a team on the practice field. But it was also, on the other hand, a nice opportunity to, relax a little bit mentally. We've been traveling a lot this year, which is not always easy. We had a very tough schedule, as you said, so I think these games already prepared us for what's coming up now. But the last couple of days, we got into a great shape, physically and, as I said before, mentally, because it might not have been too bad to get a little bit of distance and refocus again on what's about to come right now.
Mm-hmm. And so, just for those who don't know, the NCAA tournament for men's soccer is 48 teams. Hendrik mentioned getting the 16th seed. For those who are basketball fans, that might not always sound like a good thing, but it actually means a first-round bye. But it also means for the SU men's soccer team, they don't know who they're playing yet. They still have to see this first-round game on Thursday between Ryder and Akron, as Akron hosts Rider there. Who first of all, what are your expectations for that game, and also what is it like not knowing who you're going to play and having to kind of prepare for two teams for the time being?
Yeah, I think if you talk about preparations, there's always two parts to that. First of all, you're preparing yourself. You're getting ready. You know what your strengths are. You're trying to get into a good spot, physically and mentally. So that's the job we have to do. On the other hand, we for sure have to talk about the team we'll be playing against, and we'll be watching the Akron Rider game on Thursday as a team. I think our coaching staff will be watching the game very closely, and after we know who we will be playing, we can focus on the team that we'll be playing against. But so far, in the past couple of days, and tomorrow and Thursday, we'll be focusing on ourselves, we'll be focusing on our strengths, and I'm pretty sure if we bring this to the pitch, then we'll have a successful result on Sunday, no matter who we're playing against.
Absolutely. And is there any preference, though? You guys have played Akron earlier this year on the road and beat them 3-1. It's a Rider team it would be the first matchup between Syracuse and Rider in program history. Is there any sort of preference there, or just you'll take on whoever you get dealt?
No, there's no preference. We know that every single team that gets into the national tournament is an amazing soccer team. They've accomplished something during the regular season. They didn't just participate in the games they played, they won games, and they proved themselves. So we're excited for a big matchup on Sunday because we'll play against a good team. So as of right now, we're not, wasting any thoughts on who we might play, who we might not play. We'll be very excited to watch the game on Thursday to find that out. But on the other hand, we have a lot of confidence on our side to really know that we'll get a good result on Sunday.
And now you and your co-captain Kamal Miller are part of the only remaining class that made it the 2015 run to the College Cup. That you were a part of that. You started that game, and as did Kamal. What is it like, taking that NCAA experience, especially that deep run experience, and kind of, mentoring that and teaching that to some of the rest of the players on this team to try to get them ready to go?
I mean, first of all, it shows everyone on the team and everyone in our community that these big things are possible. But we got to the Final Four not necessarily because this was our big goal at the beginning of the season, but we had a mindset of going step by step. Our most important game, our national tournament game, is the game on Sunday. If we don't win this game, we cannot even think about the Final Four anymore. So, the game on Sunday, that's our absolute priority, and that's the advice I would give to everyone. Embrace it, embrace the tournament, embrace every single second of these special games, of the attention you get while playing these games, of the level. Enjoy the level you can be able to play on. But at the same time, think step by step. What's your next action? How can I best help the team? And this will be what will make us strong. And this is also the lesson, I think, Kamal, Jonathan, like all the people who are currently in our senior class and have the Final Four experience from 2015. That's the lesson that we've learned, and that's what we're trying to tell our younger players.
Yeah, have you had any specific conversations with any of those guys, the Reiner Posos, the Tajon Buchanans, Hilly Goldhars, or have any of them come up to you specifically to ask them, what emotions they might be feeling, because, it's a stage they've never experienced before?
I mean, we're definitely talking inside of the team. I think, the conversations you have among players are always different than the conversations you have with your coaching staff or with other people involved in the program. So, we're always talking, but my perception from yesterday's practice session, from today's practice session, I have a very positive impression. The team is in a good spot, the team is in a good mindset, and part of what I like about the team this year is just we have a lot of people who just enjoy playing soccer. And if we get this attitude to the field on Sunday, this will help us a lot.
And then, how big of an opportunity is this year specifically, if it is at all, for the future of this program? You guys have obviously proven you can hang with the best in the country, taking down Wake Forest earlier this year. So what does this mean for the future of the program, even though, you might be moving on?
Yeah, I mean, the program is something very special, and it took me personally a little bit to understand the significance of Syracuse soccer, of the impact that the Syracuse soccer program has on every single player or person, even the fans that are involved. So, it's it starts to be, the NCAA tournament will be a nice opportunity for us to keep giving back. We are all the children of this program. We had an excellent coaching staff this year over the last couple months or even years for me, for the older people. So for sure we know that we should be humble going into this tournament, but at the same time we'll use every single second of it to, first of all on Sunday to give back to our community, to host the national tournament game, to show them, hey, thank you so much for your support, because that's what makes us really strong. And as a senior, it will just be a nice opportunity to say, hey coaches, hey Syracuse, thank you so much. I'll put everything on the line I have to not just say this, but to also show it on the field.
Absolutely, and obviously you guys have to get through your matchup on Sunday, as does Wake Forest, but what a rematch that would be. You were the only team that took them down in the regular season. The only other team that did so all year was Louisville, and it took them 2 tries to do so. So how big of a matchup would that be, and going into their backyard to play that game potentially? What would that be like? What would that experience be like? I mean, the emotions that would go into that. You had such an emotional win, first win against the #1 team for this program since 2000. Take me through the emotions you would have going into that game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I understand that you want to talk about it. That's not really a conversation that's going on inside of the locker room right now, and that's good. Because again, we'll face a top team in the nation on Sunday first, and there's no guaranteed outcome to that. We have to bring 100% to the field to be successful in this game. On the other hand, if we're successful on Sunday, which I firmly believe in, then we'll just be very, very excited for that game that would be coming up after. Wake Forest also has to win. They have to win a game before they would face the winner of our game. But as I said before, we'll embrace it. We'll embrace every single matchup that is coming up. Be it the one on Sunday or be it a potential matchup against Wake Forest after. But it will be special. But in order to create this special situation, we first have to, get our job done on Sunday, and that will be an incredible challenge. But as I've said before, I think that we can start a very long journey if we bring to the table what we have.
Absolutely. So, Hendrik, hopefully the journey doesn't end in the immediate future, but within the next month, whether it ends with holding up the national championship trophy or at some point losing, your career here at Syracuse is going to be coming to an end. You've done some amazing things. You're second all-time in goals allowed per game at .89. You're fourth in shutouts and wins. So just looking back at your time here at Syracuse, how do you feel about what you've done for this program, and what are you going to be thinking about, during these games and kind of reflecting on your time here on the Hill?
That's an interesting question, and you phrased it this way by saying what I have done for the program. But I think when I look back at my time at Syracuse, the first thing that will come to my mind is what the program did for me. What the Syracuse community, what our coaching staff, what my teammates did for me. Because without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. And ultimately, just to highlight one thing, I think that Coach McIntyre, Coach Maslin, Coach Verney, I think this coaching staff is pretty unique within the United States. Players talk amongst themselves. I know what's going on in other programs, but I'm incredibly thankful for them giving us the opportunity to become better players, but also to become better leaders, and also to pursue our dreams off the field, be it in the classroom or somewhere else. And I think this is a very, very unique combination, and without the support of this coaching staff, we as players would not be able to do so. So that's another reason to get going and to give our best on Sunday.
Yeah, wow, spoken like a true captain for sure. Finally, before we let you go here, Hendrik, is there any sort of baseline you have in your mind of what needs to be accomplished for this to be a successful NCAA tournament, or is it kind of just playing it one game at a time?
May sound a little bit like a platitude, but I think the first thing we need to accomplish is being prepared as well as we can. Allowing for not allowing for any mistakes in our preparation, and then giving the other team everything we have. And I think that's most of what we can influence. In the end, we'll know we're a good team. We're already defeated some of the teams we might be playing against. So that's the first thing we need to do. We really need to, get our bodies on the line and give everything we have. And then, on the other hand, I think as a senior I can say that over the last 4 years I learned that the success of the soccer program rises and falls with the success we get from the Syracuse community. So every single person who can come out on Sunday, I know the weather might not be as amazing as it was in the summer, but every single person that can come out and support us will mean a lot to us. And if we can join forces with the people that have been on our stands all year long, then I think we'll be too good for the team we'll be playing.
Well, absolutely. You heard it from here right there. The Orange will be action on Sunday, hosting the winner of Ryder versus Akron. That game takes place on Thursday. The Orange will be in action Sunday with kickoff set for 2 p.m. right at the SU Soccer Stadium. Hendrik Hilpert, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.